M is for Mason.
G is for Graham.
B for Betcha.
This is the MGB Wrestling Podcast, the podcast with PG-rated material accessible to wrestling fans of all ages.
My name is Graham Bagshaw, and my co-host and creator of this podcast is proof that wrestling fans live with their parents. My 10-year-old son, Mason.
Alright, Mason, we're doing the review of Monday Night Raw from December 31st, and it hasn't even happened yet as far as everybody else is concerned. The reason being is, with it being over the holiday, this was actually on Friday, December 28th. We were about 2.5 hours away, so we actually went, and this was our first... I think this is our first show where we've been lower level for WWE. Although I guess WWE Fairfax, technically everything is lower level, but we were super close. We were row 12, I think it was, and we were right next to the stage, and they were good seats. One of the reasons we managed to get such good seats was I entered a competition to post your favourite Ric Flair GIF, and I posted one of him with Charlotte, and he picked it. And that got us $50 off seats. So I upgraded on seats that I would normally get, and we got those. Alright, we're going to kind of review this like we do on Nova Pro. As we were there, we saw everything. We got to see behind the scenes things and things like that. So I guess first of all, anything about the trip up there? I said it was 2.5 hours. Anything that you want to talk about on that?
It wasn't really that bad. We live down in near the Washington D.C. area, and we don't see many triple trucks. We saw a lot.
There was a lot. Normally on that drive up to Ohio, we see a lot of double trucks, as we call them. And on this one, there was a crazy amount of triple trucks. UPS, FedEx, sorry.
Yep.
There was a UPS one as well. But there was a lot. The roads, once you get on that main road going across, I can't remember what it is. I think it's I-80, the toll road. There's not much really to see. It's a lot of countryside. Having been across to Chicago, if we had done that, it's like that for like 5 hours. The traffic wasn't actually too bad. I allowed a bit more time, and I know last time we went to Detroit, we went in the summer of 2017. We went up to a Tigers game, and they had a whole section of interstate closed. It was like 20 miles of interstate closed. And it was okay going there, but on the way back, they took us on a huge detour, and we didn't have any of that. I think on the way back, I think we had, I think it was down to one lane for about 2 miles, and then it was good after that. But the trip up was pretty uneventful, except for Mommy's car. The seatbelt light kept going on. It kept going ding, ding, ding. I'm like, you got your seatbelt on? I was like, yeah. I was like, check yours. And I checked mine, and they were ding, 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 and then put Jackson's on, even though nobody was sat there. Put the other one on there. Anyway, we got it to stop, but it wasn't because of that. It just randomly stopped, but I thought we were going to get like a 3-hour trip of that going ding, ding. Anyway, that would have probably been the most eventful thing. Alright, and then we actually arrived in Detroit, so we parked. What about the walk up to the arena?
It was freezing cold out. I was in my Roman Reigns hoodie, and this guy was walking out there with shorts and a t-shirt looking like it's summertime.
You were complaining it's cold. I've been telling you for a while, you need to dress like it's actually the winter. But it was very cold. The wind chill in particular was brutal.
Yes,
and
it wasn't really that cold until the wind chill came.
I think the car said it was close to freezing at that point. But the guy who was walking around in shorts and t-shirt, he reminded me of AIW last year. Because the security guard, everyone stood outside, and that was really cold. I think that was 16 degrees Fahrenheit. And we had to wait outside for longer than they said. They said the doors opened at such and such a time, and they didn't. We waited another 15 minutes, and that was really cold. And he walks out in his shorts and t-shirt. Amazing security. I don't know how he could do that. The only thing I remembered particularly from the parking is we saw a big building, and we're like, oh, that must be the Little Caesars Arena.
Yeah.
And we started heading there, and then suddenly there's a honk on a horn. And we're like, what the heck? And it was the guy pointing the other direction. So he'd obviously seen that I was wearing a Raw hoodie, you were wearing Roman Reigns, and he's like, no, the arena's that way. And I'm trying to remember what it was. I think it was a casino, I think he said.
Yes.
But it was huge. If that was a casino, that looked just like a stadium to me. Now, we saw the Little Caesars Arena last year on that trip, and it was just being finished. It was getting ready for the new season for the Pistons, and also for... Oh gosh, I forgot the hockey team. Red Wings. I was going to say Redskins, and I was like, no, that's not right. So we knew about it, and it's a stadium we've not been to, so it was one that we were keen to go to. And we got there probably around 6:30. We knew it said on the ticket 7:30, but we had no idea when it was going to open. So we could have been stood outside for an hour, potentially. We walked around the outside. They got banners up of some of the famous players. Blake Griffin we saw. I'm trying to think what else there was on the outside. I always like to walk around the outside. Oh, they did have the big screen that says, hey, welcome to WWE. I think Rollins is on it, Rousey.
Dean.
Dean, that was it. I was trying to think who the third person was. And anyway, we got to the third corner, and suddenly that wind chill kicked in again. We were sheltered for a while, and we're like, all right, let's just go in. It looks like these people are moving. And we got straight in. Yeah. It looked like everyone was taking bags. Almost every line, there was a check-in for bags. We didn't have a bag, and we just walked straight in. I didn't notice at the time, you got one of your presents with you, your Roman Reigns gauntlet thing. I was like, I don't know if they're going to allow that in. It's not really a weapon, but they didn't care. We just went straight through. All right. Before we sat down our seats, we walked around the inside of the arena. All right, what have you got to tell us about the arena itself, then?
So there's this car, and then it was, like, on the side of the building, and it was an actual car on the side of the building, on the inside, and then it had, like, two little, like...
It got, like, the skid marks behind it. Oh, it was cool. I'll post that as one of the pictures, because it's kind of one of those difficult things to explain. I love walking around arenas. I love looking for that stuff. Now, I also knew that the Red Wings were one of the original 6 teams, so I assume they had some memorabilia. And it was kind of similar to the Tiger Stadium, actually. They had famous players, and it's got like a stop-motion thing. It's got like a baseball swing, but in like 5 different positions, so it's almost like 5 statues. And they had the same thing for the hockey players as well. I knew Gordie Howe was one of their famous ones, so we took a picture of that, and I'll post that with this episode as well, so we can see this. I just realised this is kind of a bit like the Hell in the Cell radio. They have one of their sections called Stadium Tours, or something like that. This is pretty much like that to begin with. Perhaps we should actually say when this actually starts, because we've probably been talking for nearly 10 minutes already, and we haven't talked about any of the matches yet. Anything else from the stadium?
Oh yeah, there's a fan cam or whatever.
There was, yeah. What was that?
So there's this players that would walk onto the camera.
Mm-hmm.
It would be like animated on there, and then you could like run around with the hockey players.
So it was like a security camera, but you could see on the TV what was actually happening, and they would put, like you said, animated hockey players coming on there, and you could interact with them. I thought I'd recorded it. I looked, all I have is a photo. I guess I pressed the wrong button. I thought I was on video, but I have a picture of you interacting with one of the players. One of my thoughts was the lines for the merchandise, because we were like, oh my goodness, so like, what's going on here? I thought there was somebody signing autographs or something. No, people trying to spend $40 on a t-shirt and things like that. I know Jackson said he wanted some AJ Styles gloves, but I wasn't waiting that long. I'm sure we can get those cheaper from the WWE store. Anything else you can think of before we went to our seats then?
No.
The only other thing I can think of particularly was they had a bench, which was supposedly the Red Wings players, and you could put your head in between them, and they had actual, like a bench where you could actually sit on, and we got a picture taken there as well. I thought that was kind of cool. I like that thing. Actually, there was a couple of cutouts as well. You got your picture taken as a Pistons player, and also as, I guess, the hockey player as well, I think, right? Because we missed it on the first time round. We did a second loop after a while, just so we can get to our seats. And when we went to our seats, we had to show our tickets. We went downstairs, which is unusual for us because we're normally upstairs. And we had to go through a level of security. And as soon as we stepped up into the arena, you could see, oh, we're close. And our ticket said limited view. And I was a little concerned, but I said, I think it's just going to be on the stage as they actually walk out. It wasn't even that. We saw every single person who walked out.
Yeah.
The only thing we couldn't see was like the screen behind them. So as you're watching from the camera, as you normally watch on TV, you get to see the screen with their name appear. That was the only thing that we couldn't see.
No, but we had the like the billboard on the top. We could see exactly.
We could see what it was.
Yeah.
We could see it from the camera because they got the jumbotron screen. You could see it from the side as well, so you could see everything. But you could actually see them walk out, and you felt really close to them. And I know we'll get to it later, but like where Elias does his talk from. Right in front of us. It was absolutely perfect. We still had about 50 minutes. I think we did another walk around. We didn't get any food. We already got food ahead of time. And I think we also knew there was going to be something. We knew it wasn't going to be Mixed Match Challenge because we knew that had finished. I thought it was going to be 205 Live.
Yeah.
And actually it turned out to be main event. So let's start with that. Now, I don't know about you, Mason. I wasn't even familiar with that show Main Event. Have you heard of that?
I heard it once.
Oh, okay. Because you were like, they took the Raw things down, and I was like, yeah. And then I was like, because that's something different. But yeah, Main Event, I wasn't really familiar with. It's 30-minute show. Or that's what it looked like from our perspective. They only had 2 matches, right? Yeah. Now, I actually looked it up later to find out a little bit more about it. It says, because of an agreement with British broadcaster Sky Sports, first-run syndication rights episodes do not air in first run on WWE Network, but are uploaded 18 days after airing overseas. The show is taped before Raw tapings and features wrestlers from the Raw brand. Now, first, a couple of things from this one. It's supposed to be 55 minutes long. It was less than 30 for what we were there. So can you imagine how many commercials there are on that? How many promos and stuff on? Oh, that's a lot. So we're going to be talking about this. This won't be on the WWE Network for at least another 2 weeks. We talked about not giving out any spoilers. If you are a big fan of the main event, I will put a note in the episode notes. Stop the podcast at this point, go check out the episode notes, and I'll tell you where to go. I don't think anyone's going to care. I've never heard anyone talking about, hey, did you see the main event? I kind of liked it. I thought it was good. You get to see some mid to low carders who you don't normally get to see.
Yeah.
And in that first match, it was Titus O'Neil versus Kurt Hawkins.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Now, I know we didn't take notes for this one because we just went as fans. So what do you remember about this one?
So the part of it, there was like 1/8 of the billboard that we could actually see on the screen as they're walking out. I could see crosses on Kurt Hawkins' thing as the 0 and 200 whatever.
I've lost count. Yeah.
I could see that. That was the only thing I could that was like obvious on the screen on the whole entire event. And I really want him to win sometime, but I doubt he's ever going to win.
We both said, can you imagine how cool it would be if we saw Kurt Hawkins actually
It would be
win?
like the Browns all over again.
Now, I'm not sure by the time this comes out, but my question on Take the Bump podcast this week was 0.5 wins for Kurt Hawkins in 2019. Have you got the over or the under? So basically, do you think he's going to get 0 wins, or do you think he's going to get 1 or more? And I also asked him, if you take in less than, do you think Kurt Hawkins will ever win a match in WWE? And I actually said that you said he will never win a match in WWE.
He won't.
I don't know. I remember the Washington Nationals, the baseball team. They have presidential races. They have the characters, the mascots that run around. And Teddy never won. He went, I don't know how, I think he went 2 years without winning, and then suddenly they let him win one in the playoffs, and then they actually got knocked out of the playoffs. They said it was a curse. I think they'll let him win at some point, but I'm not sure. I don't think it'll be for a while, but we'll have to see.
Yeah.
Anything specific for this match? Or do you want to tell us the winner?
No, not really. You can go ahead with the ending.
You don't remember who won?
I do remember who won.
Okay, who won?
Titus O'Neil.
And I don't know how he won, and I don't have that information either, because I didn't write it down for this one, and it's not listed anywhere. It just says Titus O'Neil.
It's like the big things that stick out. Right then, I was just kind of looking around at all. I wasn't really paying too much to the
I
match.
thought it was cool that you could see what was going on. You could hear all the bangs, the bumps. You could see everything a lot closer. You could actually tell who it was by looking at them, rather than being like an 80s computer graphic. It was a much higher quality because we were super close. I was looking around at people's signs as well, and I was kind of, like I said, I was rooting for Kurt Hawkins in that one. It wasn't a surprise that Titus O'Neil actually won that one. All right, main event number 2. Match 2 was The Revival versus Tyler Breeze and Zack Ryder. All right, what do you have for this one then?
And something that I got for Christmas was a video player and a DVD, and it's like the Best of Raw and SmackDown 2017. I saw the Revival's debut against American Alpha.
Oh, okay.
I didn't know that was their debut. They looked fabulous.
There is a lot of people who think that they are really good and they're perhaps not getting the push they should.
Yes.
American Alpha was a team that I really liked, and it's not really come up recently. It looks like Jason Jordan's career might be over.
Oh.
It looks like that injury is a lot more serious than... I know he had neck surgery.
Yeah.
And that's why you haven't really heard him talked about since. It sounds like that might be it for him.
Oh.
That would be a real shame, but that was a really good team. Could be. I honestly don't know the severity, but I remember somebody did talk about the fact that he might not be coming back at all, which is why I guess probably he's been paired up now with Bobby Roode.
Yes.
And obviously they did split them up. Actually, that was before his injury anyway.
Yeah.
They get moved on. I liked American Alpha. I thought that was a really good team when they came up onto, I think it was SmackDown first. Okay, anything specific for this match?
Zack Ryder, you said that that the whole time we've been watching wrestling, we haven't seen him wrestle?
That's what I thought. Now, I know he's Chelsea Green's boyfriend, and so I see him mentioned on Twitter because of that, and I always think that, you don't really get to see them that much. Okay, do you want to tell me why I was wrong? I realised later, but...
He's in the Hype Bros.
He's in the Hype Bros, yeah, and I'd totally forgotten about that. Now, the reason that I'd actually realised that later is I've actually got some quotes from Twitter here. From Zack Ryder's account on December 25th, I haven't had one match on Monday Night Raw in 2018 yet. One more Raw left. And spoiler alert, not only did he appear in this main event, he did actually appear on Monday Night Raw, so he did get one match. Now, somebody responded to this, actually, at Cody Rhodes. Some perspective for you, babe. Several years ago, the biggest star in the world, in Madison Square Gardens, The Rock was standing in the ring, and the crowd was chanting, "We want Ryder." I have no idea what that story is. I was not watching wrestling at that point. I'm really curious now as to what that was. That's something I'm going to have to look at. I'm sure people will hit us up on Twitter, or I'm sure Matt will probably send me a message later telling me exactly what it is. How cool is that?
Yeah.
You're in the ring with The Rock, and people are actually cheering for you instead. I'm not sure why he'd missed so many matches. I wondered if it was injuries or something. So I actually looked up on, I can never remember what it's called, a cage match or cage side seats. I always get those two mixed up. You can look at their record. Now, considering that was our first match that we'd seen him from this year, do you know how many matches he's actually had this year?
5.
He's had a lot. He's had 68 matches.
Oh.
So it tells you how important those house shows are. And also those WWE live events where you just don't get to see them. Yeah. He's won nearly 70% of his matches.
Oh,
that's
wow.
huge. That makes me wonder, why is he not being used more? Or is it just because that main roster is just so strong? I was absolutely shocked when I saw that he'd won 70% of his matches, but 2, he's actually had 68 matches so far. 68 matches, yeah. That's absolutely crazy. Okay, anything else about this match?
I was about to wear my
Fashion Police?
Yeah, Fashion Police shirt.
Uh-huh.
I don't feel like I should wear it at school because of the back. It's like you have the right to remain stylish and all that stuff.
Uh-huh.
I don't know.
I think you can wear that.
It just feels a little weird.
Oh, I think you can wear that. Is that Jackson down here?
I'm going potty down here.
I can suddenly, hey buddy, we're recording, but that's fine. I was like, that sounds like running water or something. I was like, what is it? It's just Jackson going potty. That's fine. We're not editing that out. You made it onto the podcast, buddy. Do you want to say hi to everybody? Here, come on here. Do you want to tell us about some of your presents that you got for Christmas?
Yeah.
You got a Fashion Police T-shirt as well, right?
Yeah.
Who does it look like? Can you remember who you told me it looked like?
It looked like the people that was running around at WWE Fairfax around the ring.
That's exactly who it was. Yes, that was Tyler Breeze, and that was Fandango. Yeah. Can you remember who you said that you thought it was, though?
Yeah, good cop, bad cop.
You did. It does. It does look like good cop, bad cop as well. That was a very good little observation. All right, give me a high five, buddy. All right, we'll talk to you later. Now, the thing that I liked about actually having Tyler Breeze there was he'd actually had some big matches recently. He had that match on NXT versus Ricochet. He also had a match on, was it Raw? I can't remember who he fought, or it was on SmackDown. He had a big match as well. So, I don't know. It looks like Tyler Breeze has been involved a little bit more.
He came out with the selfie stick, and then he cut half of his head off for half of it.
I noticed that as well. I was like, that's pretty lame, because I'm not sure that's his theme, but yeah, he wasn't quite holding it right. When he does his brushing with his hair, he made sure he had it perfect for that. But yeah, some of the time it wasn't, he didn't have the whole thing on it. The only thing I have is Revival 1, but I honestly don't remember how.
Me neither.
All I
remember is it's a good match.
Yeah, it was. The only reason I remember was, I remember seeing Tyler Breeze and Zack Ryder on the ramp, and they were sort of looking back at those guys, and they were celebrating in the ring, but I couldn't remember the reason why.
Oh, yeah.
No, I gotta say, I actually, like I said, although it's a 55-minute show, I think if you skip out everything except for just the matches itself, this might be one I'd actually watch with Jackson.
True.
I thought the matches were, like I said, it's people we don't get to see as much as perhaps we would like, and I thought they were entertaining. I thought they were perfectly good. I enjoyed them as much as I enjoyed the 205 Lives when we were at SmackDown 1000.
Yes.
So I thought that was pretty good.
And the Revival's motto or whatever is no flips, just fists. I really like that.
That's pretty cool. I like that too.
Except I like flips more than fists.
Now, before match 1 even started, before they'd even introduced anyone, I'm not sure if Renee and other people had come out yet. Renee, Michael, and Corey had come out this time.
Yeah.
The cage starts to come down.
Yep.
Now, we knew that there was going to be a steel cage match, and I'd already told you ahead of time, because I think you missed Raw last week. No. So we knew straight away. Oh, you already knew?
Yeah.
No, I told you. Well, I told you ahead of time then. Because you had to watch it for Good Cop, Bad Cop. But I knew ahead of time because I'd watched it earlier. So I knew that we were going to get to see a steel cage match. And they're putting it on first. We were like, No, they can't be doing that. They were. Match 1, Dolph Ziggler versus Drew McIntyre.
And I think I know why, when we'll talk about that later.
Sure. All right, what have you got for this one now?
What I have is, they both come out, and then there's a huge pop for Dolph Ziggler.
Yeah.
As soon as that music hits, everyone starts clapping and going crazy.
It was a great fan atmosphere. The people of Detroit are definitely into the wrestling. That was for sure.
It is, and the thing is, all the people that, all the underdogs, they always stand right next to the door, and then they always try to go out the door first. And the one tactic that I have, instead of, like, climbing all the way on the top of the steel cage, why can't you just walk through the door?
Yeah, that was one of the strange ones. Dolph got McIntyre on the floor. He starts to climb up, got over the top of the cage, sees that McIntyre's heading to the door, and obviously didn't feel comfortable at just dropping down, but climbed all the way back in and gets him back from the door. Whereas you said, why didn't you just go straight from the door? Yeah, that looked kind of weird. I thought that was kind of a strange thing. I don't have much from this one at all. I remember thinking in the match, I'm glad we're not taking notes.
Yes.
Because I was actually just enjoying the match. And
I like doing that sometimes.
now, I actually thought for this one that Drew was definitely going to win, mainly because, and I said it was one of my moments last time, that Drew got beat by Finn Balor. He then went to talk to Dolph Ziggler, and he beat Dolph Ziggler, as Dolph Ziggler basically put the beat down on him too. I thought it was going to be flipped this week to balance it out, and sure enough it was. Drew McIntyre got the win for this one.
And one thing I remember is,
how did he win? Did he just go, he just went through the door, right?
I don't remember.
I think he just went through the door.
So.
I don't think he climbed over the top.
I remember Drew McIntyre did the, oh my gosh, Claymore kick? I was about to say Glasgow kiss. And it looked like he just kicked his head off. Like, his head went perfectly back and went so far.
There was also one very bad one in that round as well. I remember there was a kick, and luckily Dolph sold it really well. But yes, there was one that looked like, ouch, that really hurt, and then vice versa. And the only other thing I remember from this match is Drew won, he goes to leave, goes out, and then he comes back in again and then beats Dolph down a little bit more. I know he gets the chair out and injures him. I think he got the microphone out as well.
Yeah, and then he says that he's absolutely nothing. He doesn't deserve any of this. And another thing is, Dolph Ziggler's, he's standing on the top rope with the steel cage about to climb out, and Drew McIntyre meets him. Drew McIntyre makes Dolph slip, and then the ropes hit his dingo, and then Dolph does the same thing to Drew.
Yes,
and then they both are on the floor.
They did. They both got some injuries for that one. Now, actually, after the end of this, the thing that was surprising for me was it was starting with a match. Normally you start with the promos. So they flipped that over again as well. I think also at this point we actually saw a car arriving as well, so we knew that somebody was going to turn up. And I think it was actually, I think we saw Triple H come out, and I think we saw Shane O'Mac come out.
No, we saw Shane's shoes come out.
But
and
then
everyone started yes.
No, but they showed you at work, because Shane was dancing around Triple H, and Triple H was like, what the heck are you doing? Anyway, the person that came out after that match was Seth. Seth came into the ring. He obviously wants his rematch. He lost to Dean. He wants his chance to get his title back. And, Triple H came out. And Triple H basically said, no, things are changing around here. We're not doing that anymore. You don't get an automatic title. I like that they're not doing that anymore. Because otherwise you just get to see the same match again.
Triple H must be annoying sometimes. Because on WWE Network, I saw, this commercial, and then every time Triple H walks into the car, he has to do his entrance music or whatever. That must be annoying.
For who?
For Stephanie.
Oh, okay.
Every time he walks into the car, you have to play the music and do all that stuff just to get in the car.
So the thing that wasn't announced was, they did say that Triple H says he wants to see Seth get back to his old character. He wants to see him fight for everything. He wants to see him deserve it. He wants him to get tougher. And, basically said he wasn't going to get his match. And Shane O'Mac came out and said, you guys basically need to get out of the ring. Because the person who is going to face Dean Ambrose is going to be the winner of the Second Chance Battle Royale.
Yeah.
Now, the first person that came out was Finn Balor. Now, I wrote down as many as I could think of, and I'm going to ask you if you can remember any others. I knew Zack Ryder came out, and I knew Kurt Hawkins came out, and Tyler Breeze came out, and Titus O'Neil. We're like, oh, they're doing double duty already. They only just appeared on that main event, which no one else would have known, of course. Revival, I think they came out. Yes. I put a question mark next to it. Apollo Crews.
Yeah.
Lucha House Party.
Yes.
B-Team. And then the last person I had was Baron Corbin. Can you think of anyone else I missed?
Connor from the Ascension.
Oh, there you go. Okay. And I could not remember those. Now, you want to talk about this match? Now, we made a few predictions ahead of time. I actually thought Tyler Breeze was a possible one, having them raised his profile recently. I said Kurt Hawkins.
Oh, okay.
That was the second one I said. I went through the people who'd been on the main event. Actually, I had a couple of pictures, so I looked on the pictures and wrote down who I could see.
That's how you got so many.
But some of them I couldn't see perfectly. Oh, no, I had some.
Oh, No Way Jose.
No Way Jose was one you missed, and that's the one I missed, because I actually do have the final. I have the final result once we get to that point. All right, what do you have for this match, then? What do you remember?
I remember that everyone came out, and then No Way Jose's music hit.
Yeah.
You hate No Way Jose. I could see on your face. You
Yeah, I don't like him.
Not him again.
No, and I said that last week. I was like, why is he coming out and doing Christmas greetings? I was like, no one cares about No Way.
I don't know who said it, but No Way Jose should come out and form the conga line in the crowd.
That would definitely get the crowd going. That's for sure.
I thought...
On that lower level, that would be great. Or if you did that on the last match after everything's done, imagine how cool that would be.
Yeah.
Like all their matches are done. But yeah, right now
they should do that.
Right now, though, that's just a gimmick. That's the only thing he has in terms of his rest. Can you tell me what his finisher is?
No.
There you go. If I name any other wrestler, though, you could probably tell me what their finishers are.
Probably.
Yeah. And that just shows you. I don't know any. I can't think of anything. His matches just don't stand out right now.
Yeah.
I know he's entertaining, kind of like the Lucha House Party, but for some reason, yeah, he just doesn't resonate with me. I didn't watch NXT either when he was on there, so that might have helped if I'd have watched that a little bit more. I'm trying to think if there's anything specific for me. The Lucha House Party, I know we're trying to get Finn Balor out at one point, and then I knew one of them got eliminated, a second one got eliminated, and then the third one, somebody picked him up. I think it might have been Apollo Crews,
It was Apollo.
and threw him out, and I was like, oh. They caught him. His feet didn't touch the ground. You know what's going to happen. Like, they're going to keep him there, and then as it gets to the end, they're just going to put him back in the ring. And they didn't.
And then everyone got up.
You just saw all three of them walking off. I was
and
like,
then, and then more people got eliminated by Apollo. And then Apollo threw Tyler Breeze out in the ring and recreated that moment again.
Now, as we get down to the last four were...
Kurt Hawkins. Finn Balor.
Not that far, no. Kurt Hawkins, Bo Dallas, Baron Corbin, and Apollo Crews.
Oh, yeah.
And we actually talked about it. So I was like, can you imagine if Kurt Hawkins won this one? We're like, perhaps we called this a little too early. Is he actually going to get win? No, he was the fourth one out. So there was down to the three. I'm trying to remember exactly well, obviously I know it was Corbin and Apollo Crews, the last two. And we said, well, obviously... Corbin's going to win this.
Yeah.
And we were wrong. We were wrong. Apollo Crews won, and he was flexing his muscle. Apollo Crews is good.
Yeah.
He's strong. He's athletic.
I like how he does that cartwheel and all that stuff.
Yeah. He does that flip from the ground. He's strong. I'm surprised. When he first came up, I was really excited for him. And I did see some of his matches on NXT. I saw his last two, I think it was, before he moved up. So I knew who he was when he came up, and I was like, oh, I can't wait to see this guy.
I can't think of somebody that's that athletic and that strong.
It's a strong, that combination, it's pretty unusual, but no, he's good. So we knew later we were going to get to see him again against Dean Ambrose, and I'm excited by this. This is not a match I think we would have had on Raw a couple of months ago. I think since they've done that shake-up, they are trying to get more people involved, and I like it.
The thing is, Kurt Hawkins almost had a win on Mixed Match Challenge. His best chance was with Ember Moon. He could just sit the whole one out and have Ember Moon.
He could. Well, Ember Moon was about to do the pin, and he tagged himself in, and then tried to tag, I can't remember who it was, Alicia Fox, I think it was, and they're like, no, you can't do that. It can't be man against woman. So he held her for, like, pin for 10, and Ember's like, no, that doesn't count. And, yeah, he totally messed that up. All right, so the order they went out. Zack Ryder went out first. Victor... Titus O'Neil, No Way Jose, Mojo Rawley, Lince Dorado, Connor, Kalisto, Grand Metalik? Yeah. Finn Balor, Curtis Axel, Kurt Hawkins, Bo Dallas, Baron Corbin, and then Apollo Crews. Now, I've got something else for this one, and let me have a look, see if my notes make sense. Oh, you know I told you about some of the house shows that were happening, and I actually talked to you about this on the way into the thing. There was that one at Madison Square Gardens.
Yeah.
And I told you who was in that one. Here, let me read you the list for this one. If you don't know about this one, unfortunately we can't watch this, because this was a house show. They didn't put it anywhere. Aleister Black, Matt Riddle, Pete Dunne, Ricochet, and Velveteen Dream were on one team. The other team was Johnny Gargano, The Undisputed Era, and they picked Adam Cole, Kyle O'Reilly, and Roderick Strong, and Tommaso Ciampa. And it says with Bobby Fish as well. So I'm not sure quite how that... You would think that Fish would have walked out with The Undisputed Era, not Tommaso Ciampa. I'm very confused with that one. But wow, what a match. Now, the reason I'm mentioning that, first of all, what a cool match. I don't think we had a match quite as exciting as that, as far as I can tell. But here's some of the other matches. On that same card, there was a WWE Intercontinental title #1 contendership battle royal.
What?
And I was like, what? We just had that one. All right. Do you want to know who won that one?
Yeah.
Apollo Crews.
Oh.
So they'd already had this match 2 days before. He defeated Kurt Hawkins, Heath Slater, Jinder Mahal, Connor, No Way Jose, Rhino, Titus O'Neil, Victor, and Zack Ryder. So they had almost... That's almost the same cast, right?
Yeah.
Pretty much. But I thought that was really funny. Do you want to know something even stranger?
Yeah.
Because I told you as well. I said, hey, last night, did you know there was a match in Columbus? Because that was closer to us, actually. It was only 2 hours away.
Well, because they hit another
But it was
one.
only half. There was an Intercontinental title #1 contendership battle royale. Apollo Crews defeated Kurt Hawkins, Grand Metalik, Heath Slater, Jinder Mahal, Kalisto, Connor, Lince Dorado, Mojo Rawley, No Way Jose, Rhino, Titus O'Neil, Victor, and Zack Ryder. That was the third night in a row they'd had the #1 contendership battle royal. So, in theory, if you'd followed spoilers, or if you'd looked for that stuff, we would have known that ahead of time. I was thinking how smug... I would have been kind of smug about this. I'm like, hey, we're going to know the results before anyone else knows. And I didn't spoil anything because I didn't want to. People who had gone to those other events, they already knew those results. I thought that was really weird how that actually worked out. So that was the reason why I mentioned the 10-man tag team challenge.
I feel like we're like in the WWE and we get to know like the whatever like whoever wins the matches and like the key points because we get to know early.
We got to know early by like 3 days, and people will be watching this, and I'm not sure people will even watch this Monday, because New Year's Eve, people are probably going out, or they're getting ready for parties, or they're probably doing other stuff.
We're going to a party.
Alright, well that's why we've got to get this recorded quickly. Alright, next one, there was an in-ring segment. We saw Elias sitting on the chair, and we got super excited, and then actually when the lights came on, they weren't on him, they were actually in the middle of the ring. Corbin was in the ring, complaining that he'd actually lost, and the fact that he didn't deserve to lose, and no one deserved a second chance more than him, blah, 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 blah. What do you got for this one? It wasn't really a match, it was more just of a segment.
No, I can't remember what Corbin talked about.
What I basically just said, how he got cheated. The thing I do remember is people, even before this one, and I notice normally on our events when we go, people normally go with, woo, and you hear that around the ring while they're waiting. This time, people were actually shouting out, WWE stands for... And they wanted people to go, walk with Elias, and people did do that. So people are actually chanting Elias chants now, before the match even started. I'm trying to remember about his song. Actually, I think he was fairly positive.
Yes.
I think he was positive about Detroit.
Because Detroit is the Motor City or whatever, I think. And then he said that Detroit was on the rise because of its music.
Yeah.
He was very positive because it's a music.
He was, and I was surprised by that.
And then he said that only that no losers are invited to the party. And then he said, that means you, Baron.
And that chant started going around the crowd. You're a loser. You're a loser. Yeah, now I predicted ahead of time he was going to make fun of the Lions, because the Lions have had a pretty bad season. As it turned out, the Lions actually did well on their last match. I think it was again...
Their last game?
Lions. Yeah, their last game. Oh. I think it was the Lions that beat Green Bay 31-0, and it was in Green Bay.
Oh, that's funny.
And Green Bay finished the season... They didn't make the playoffs. I think they won 6 games. They might have won 7.
Oh, I think the Browns did better than them.
They did. They won 7. And the Lions, with that win, they finished on 6 wins as well. I think the only difference was, I think Green Bay had a tie in there as well, which is why they slightly finished ahead. Alright, match 3, Ember Moon, Sasha, and Bayley versus the Riot Squad.
The Riot Squad they fit together so well. I think they could win the new Raw Women's Championship.
I don't know if it's Raw. I know there's that tag team championship. But I would agree. I think they could be certainly one group for that. And I think it helps when you've got a group of 3 when it's a tag team thing, because you always got that one person who can interfere or can do some sort of distraction.
But on the other hand, Alexa Bliss, Mickie James, and Alicia Fox could take that win.
I'm still not sure when Alexa Bliss is set to come back. That still seems to be up in the air. Before we even get to this match, I was looking for the Bayley's, whatever those things are called.
Bayley Buddies?
Is that what they're called?
Yeah.
I was really excited for that, and we were right next to that. I got a good little 3-second clip of that. I know you're not supposed to record videos, but I was like,
but the guy in front of us recorded the whole thing, so.
Yeah, we should talk. Yeah, the guy in front, he was recording. He was doing commentary as well. He was really annoying. There was another woman to the side of me who was recording it. She recorded every match as well.
At least she had it zoomed in.
Well, she did. She alternated. She'd zoom in and she'd zoom back out again. She had a phone on the diagonal, though. It wasn't even like I'm trying to think panoramic or the portrait. It was like it was like the weirdest thing. So if you put that up on YouTube or something, it would not be on a diagonal.
So you'd have to tilt your head the whole time.
There's that big announcement like, hey, don't bother recording any of this stuff. You could be ejected, your phone could be taken, and they were just recording it. I'm going to guess they don't go
That would be funny
there.
if they got their phone that day, and it was an iPhone X, and they paid so much money for it.
Could be. I don't know why they just wouldn't enjoy the match. It's not like, it's going to be on TV anyway. This one's going to be on in 3 days' time.
You might as well just record it from your TV.
Correct, and from that, you actually get better quality. I don't understand why people would do that from an actual house show. Like, if it's not going to be televised, you can understand a little bit more. Like, at Nova Pro events, you realise that's... well, I guess that's going to be on Powerbomb TV as well.
House shows.
But yeah, for house shows, you could understand it a little bit more, I guess. But yeah, but to do it for the whole show, my main thought was, how is their battery life lasting that long? I know I have an old phone, but they're like 3-hour shows, and if you pre-show and everything, I'm like, they must have been 100% before they even started. Yeah.
And then the lady was playing on her phone the whole time.
Yeah, there was people playing on. I was like, man, and I have to keep switching off my phone, put it on airplane mode, and then switch it back on again, and post a couple things, and switch it back off again. But yeah, I know I have a slightly older phone, but one thing I do have for this match, the crowd were calling for Sasha. Ember Moon was in there, and there was chants around the ring for, like, we want Sasha. And she was actually beckoning to them, and was like, yeah, keep it going, keep it going. And then she did tag in, and then she immediately tagged Bayley straight in as well. She did, like, one move, and then Bayley came straight in. Sasha got in again later.
Yeah, she tagged Ember Moon, and then Ember Moon did, like, the eclipse while Sasha Banks was holding the Ruby Riott in a hold. So it hurt even more. And then Ember Moon did a couple moves, and then she tagged Sasha back in.
So Sasha did get to go in, but I was expecting it to be in for a little longer at that point. But I thought that was kind of funny. All I have is the winners for this. I don't remember how it won. I know people got pushed out in the edge. I'm not even sure who got the finishing move in the end, to be honest. Ember Moon, Sasha, and Bayley won, which I guess, once again, it balances it up from the other week when the Riott Squad attacked them. So I thought that made sense for this one. All right, match 4. Seth Rollins was told he was going to have a match, but it wasn't the Intercontinental title. He said he had to face Bobby Lashley, first of all. Of course, he was accompanied by Lio Rush. Okay, what about this match, then?
I love how Lio Rush's face was cut off when they were, like, announcing the match. It's Seth Rollins versus Bobby Lashley next. You know how they do that?
They didn't even talk about him?
No. Lio Rush, he had 1/4 of his face on there.
Oh, they didn't get the full... Okay,
I showed you that, remember?
I got you. No,
that was absolutely hilarious.
Well, they're the main stars in that, so I'm okay with that.
I'm so glad that when Bobby came out, Lio Rush was trash-talking, and Lio Rush says when Bobby Lashley beats Seth Rollins that he will do his favorite pose of all. But he didn't actually win.
No,
so
he didn't, thankfully, which was good to say. This was actually Seth's second time out, so we got to hear the whole burn it. That intro was really cool. I've never been that over on that one. I was really into that this time.
And the weird thing about my video, Seth Rollins came out, and I was ready for the burn it down. It just played out that song the whole time. There was no burning down.
Oh, I wonder if that's new then.
It is.
In the last year then?
It must be.
I guess it must be. I know they do changes. Like Dean's now, it has the sirens in the background over the top of his music.
I thought it was Mia Yim. She has the same siren.
You did. Yeah, you thought it. And I don't know Mia Yim's intro as well as that. You're much better on those ones than me. What do you have for this match?
Bobby Lashley, he was beating up Seth Rollins at the start. And I really felt bad for Seth. He's just like Finn Balor. They both are like the underdogs, the huge underdogs that always get picked on a lot. And then always, like, they never run away from a fight. Even, like, the AOP match and all that stuff with Seth. Finn
that's also
the
what Triple H told him he had to do.
Yeah.
He said he wants him in those positions. He wants him, like, scrambling and fighting for his life. And
they're both, like, trying to not have, like, those matches. They're both, like, always, the odds are stacked against them.
Okay, anything about the actual match, though?
I have the ending.
Okay, go ahead. One thing I will say, Lio Rush obviously interfered in this one, because he always does, and Seth went to deal with him, and you're like, oh, here we go. Seth's gonna lose because Lio interferes, and alright, go ahead. What's the finish?
So what happens is Bobby Lashley and Seth Rollins are on the outside. Seth Rollins just snaps and hits him with chairs. And
he got the DQ.
Yeah, that's basically it. He just hits him with chairs for a long time.
I like that.
Yeah.
I really like that. I didn't think it was going to end that way.
And then Jeff Hardy, same thing.
Yeah.
He hits him.
He did that recently as well. No, I was perfectly okay with that. People who are normally considered the faces suddenly going, no, I'm done with this. I don't care. And I kind of like that. I kind of like that finish. All right, match 5. Jinder Mahal and the Singh Brothers versus Rhino and Heath Slater in a 3-on-2 handicap match.
You know how the Singh Brothers are weak and terrible.
Yeah.
I'm thinking Heath Slater and Rhino are gonna absolutely crush the Singh brothers, and then Jinder Mahal is just gonna sit there the whole time.
Well, I thought Jinder wouldn't even tag in the Singh brothers. Exactly. I was like, why would they? Because they're not wrestlers. They're more like, I don't know, mascots, kind of. But yeah, can you imagine? We wanted to see them get speared by Rhino. I think that's what we wanted to see.
And Rhino, wasn't he retired?
No, I still don't know. They did play beforehand, the clip of him dressed up as Santa last week, and then suddenly doing the big reveal.
Yeah.
I don't know. And that was my question, like, is he retired? Is Heath Slater a ref? I still don't know the answer to that. I don't actually remember who won this one.
Jinder Mahal and the Singh brothers.
Oh, they did?
Yeah.
I don't remember the ending at all.
Me neither. I just remember that the Singh brothers, Jinder Mahal beat up Heath Slater, I think.
Oh, I remember is it the Colossus? Is that what it's called?
Yes, the Colossus.
I remember seeing that towards the end, and then, I don't remember much. Alright, that one didn't resonate with us much, so let's move on to match 6. I don't think there was many matches at all for this one. Match 6 was Dean versus Apollo for the Intercontinental Championship. Okay, what about this one? So we'd obviously seen Apollo already, because he already had his match. This was our first sighting of Dean, though.
Yeah, Apollo was doing his flips and all that stuff. He was doing his flips, the big power. He was showing off his power.
Yeah, he had him above his head.
He is... Yeah, I can't express how strong and athletic he is.
He's good. Yeah, he's really good. I don't actually have much for this one, because this is one where I was just like, whoa, this is a great match. And everything was, like you said, you sort of lost for words. A lot of it was just so good that you just... Yeah. And there was a lot of stuff in it that I lost track of it.
I can't express half of the moves.
All I have is the ending. My notes for this were limited to one line. Apollo looked good, but Dirty Deeds was too much. Nobody seems to really kick out of Dirty... I'm trying to remember who's kicked out of Dirty Deeds.
Not many.
No, I can't think of anyone off the top of my head. As soon as Dirty Deeds hits, then that's it. And Dean was behind at that point. It was almost like it was a Dirty Deeds from nowhere. Kind of like Randy Orton's RKO out of nowhere. It was one where it didn't look likely at the point, but he managed to do that, and then it was too much. I thought that was a good showing for Apollo. I hope that's not the end for Apollo, though. Because like you said, he was really good. He deserves to have more chances like that. I think he's better when he's away from Titus O'Neil, though. I don't like that Titus Worldwide thing. I know Dana Brooks part of that as well. I would much rather keep Apollo by himself, and Titus can fight for himself. But we'll have to see. Alright, match 7. This was the main event, not the show, the actual thing. This was Tamina and Nia Jax versus Natalya and Ronda Rousey. And I'd actually told you ahead of time, because you could see on the Twitter feed, it listed who was going to appear. So we knew some of the people. I told you Ronda Rousey is going to be there. And for me, that was the main one I was interested in. Now, the reason this match happened was, and I don't remember between which segment, so I couldn't write it down for earlier, Natalya was being interviewed, and she actually got attacked by Tamina and Nia Jax. So that was the reason this match got set up. All right, what do we have for this one?
And the thing is, all I remember is it's basically Ronda Rousey versus Nia Jax, the bigger ones of the team, like the better ones, versus Tamina and Natalya. And also, like, Ronda Rousey and Nia Jax square up easily. They're, like, even. But Tamina is like, better than Natalya because they're both tall and they're stronger. So I thought, oh my gosh, Nia Jax and Tamina are probably gonna have the win because they're like.
And I thought the same thing because I was like, I don't want that to happen, but I was like, Ronda Rousey's not going to lose as a singles, but she's going to lose at some point. So you let her take a loss in the tag team, and it doesn't hurt her as a singles character because you can say, well, Natalya got pinned. That's nothing to do with Ronda. She doesn't even have to feature in it to lose that one. I had Ronda was so animated. I was watching her even when she wasn't in the ring. She was bouncing up and down the whole time. Her feet were moving.
Somebody said it looked like she had to. Go to the bathroom.
She was really into it. But yeah, I noticed that before. She really does on the side of the ring. She totally is into that match.
Yeah, she always jumps up and down, like Brock Lesnar at the start. Yeah,
she's excitable. She wanted to get in. When she did get in, it was against Tamina. Tamina, she did like a slam on her, and then she just let her go. She's like, go on, tag in Nia. I don't care. Bring in Nia. I like that. I like that she's not afraid of Nia at all, even though Nia is obviously much bigger than her. She wanted to face her, and I thought that was really cool. I wonder
if it's a UFC thing. Brock Lesnar jumps up and down like that too.
Oh, it could be. I'll have to next time. Matt Riddle's on a tag team, or Sonya Deville, or somebody like that. We'll have to watch those MMA people.
I don't think they do.
Well, they're MMA people.
I don't think Sonya Deville does it, or Shayna Baszler.
I haven't noticed it, but
all I remember is Brock Lesnar. He jumps up and down too.
He definitely does.
And Ronda Rousey
because Daniel Bryan made fun of him for doing that. As well, that last match.
Ronda Rousey does it. And
Anything for this match? Or go to the finish?
You go to the finish.
No, I think it was. I don't actually have the finish. Rousey won. I'm trying to remember. She had the armbar?
Yes.
Was it? I think it must have been on Nia. And I didn't write it down, but it was definitely the armbar anyway. And she didn't hesitate like she did in the previous weekend because obviously it wasn't her friend.
Yeah, that's a different bad call.
And that was it. They showed some sort of. We did see that John Cena's going to be back.
Yeah.
We saw that for SmackDown tomorrow, as they said, which wasn't for us, but anyway. And they also said he was going to be on Raw the following week as well. So I thought that was kind of interesting. And you saw all the cameras moving away, and we're like, oh, that's it. Actually, some people left in the Ronda Rousey match because they realised it was the main event. And I guess with young kids, they were probably getting tired. And that wasn't it.
Nope.
We then got, and this will be the part that people who did listen to this won't know anything about. We had Shane O'Mac come out, and he actually said, well, perhaps we changed our minds.
He said that Detroit has a big part in his heart because that's where he returned. He
did. And he said, perhaps we changed our minds in reference to Seth not being able to face Dean. He said, we have a steel cage here. Should we use it again? And of course, everyone was like, hey, go through. And that was the dark match. We had Dean versus Seth for the Intercontinental title. So Dean had to defend it twice in one day, but Seth had to come out multiple times as well. So when they actually did come out, that was Seth's third entrance. So by that time, everyone...
I think Seth looked at me that time. He looked in our direction.
I'm sure he looked
because
all
he
over
walks
the place.
out and then he's just looking. He's like looking in our direction as soon as you walk out because he's facing forward. So I think he looked in our direction.
I thought it was a pretty standard one, but we said straight away, Dean's obviously winning. There's no way, because you can't. How would you announce to the fans that Dean isn't the title holder anymore because he lost it in a house show? I think that'd be cool if they did that occasionally, just to like, whoa, what happened? We didn't know anything about that. You could perhaps show highlights or something. But yeah, we knew straight away. All right, what do you got for this match? Anything?
What I have is they both come in the ring, and Seth, he gets thrown onto the cage, and that has to hurt so much.
And we were close enough that you can really sort of hear that, and you could feel the sensation far more. Yeah. I was impressed with the speed those cages come down. Like, we've seen one where it's been put together, and it took, they had a 15-minute break or whatever to put that. They just lower it straight down. They have the spikes. They have certain points where they stop, and then everyone checks in the ring, are we all ready? And then they lower it a little bit more. And then on the last point, they make sure everything's... But the whole thing takes less than a minute to do.
Yeah, and then that's why they had the Dolph and Drew match at the start, so they wouldn't have back-to-back cages.
Correct.
And
they could have done. I don't know why you could have had a back-to-back cage match. I don't think that would have been a problem.
But Spike,
it wouldn't have been the same people.
You know how Roman Reigns got thrown through the cage? Yes. I think I know how they do that. Have somebody under the ring and take out the spikes.
Oh, so it's not. I don't know exactly, but it's still connected on the sides though. I don't know exactly how.
Oh, and then how would the thing hold at the top though? Without the spikes? Oh, I don't know.
Well, it is. There's more than one place where it's connected. Otherwise, when you just said, once he got thrown into the side, it would have just collapsed straight away if that had been true.
But
if there's only one connection. No, there's got to be more than one connection for that thing, I think. Anything specific for this match?
No.
I'm going to be honest with you. I thought this was kind of a boring match in the end. I was really excited when they announced it, and then when it actually happened, I was like, Now, we actually thought it had ended, and we started to leave, and then Dean came back in again, I think. Or something happened, and we were like, whoa, let's go back and watch a little bit more. The only thing I really remember from this one is, Dean tried to scramble through the door, Seth would chase after him, grab his leg, pull him back, and throw him back into the corner of the ring, and then Seth would try and escape. And then they just did that over and over. Yeah. It was kind of like cartoon-like. Dean did win. I have no idea how Dean won. I honestly don't remember.
Me neither. All I remember is that he came back out, punched Seth a little bit, and then he went out.
All right, now to finish this up then, I got a few more things for you. So I told you some of the results from previous house matches. So we heard that John Cena's going to be back. John Cena's already back. He fought at Madison Square Gardens. He defeated Baron Corbin. So I was kind of surprised by this one. And also, what else happened on that one? The Nassau Veterans Memorial Coliseum. I'm not sure about it. There was a steel cage match there. Daniel Bryan versus John Cena. So John Cena's already fought 2 matches before we'd even got to Detroit. So he is actually back on this.
Oh, and when we were driving back, I saw a WWE truck.
Oh, yeah, I'd forgotten about that. Now, I have one spoiler, and I'm not sure this episode's going to come out tonight. I already know who the John Cena match is going to be on SmackDown, and it's brilliant. I will tell you, it's not a singles match, it's a tag team match, but from when I looked at the names, I was like, that looks really cool. So I am super excited for watching SmackDown on Tuesday. I'm not going to announce it on here, but I'll tell you off air if you want to know who it is.
Yeah.
I think that should do it for us. Drive home was good. There was no problems with traffic as we talked about, and I think it was after 2 o'clock when we finally got back. The biggest thing on the way back was there was no hot dogs available at the gas station. Follow Mason at MGB Wrestling Pod. Follow me at Mr. Bagshaw. I think that'll do it for us.
It's goodbye from me.
And it's goodbye from him.
Goodbye.
The music was ZigZag by Kevin MacLeod at incompetech.com, licensed under Creative Commons by Attribution 3.0, http://creativecommons.org/licenses/by/3.0/.
M is for Mason.